We are back. We are a husband and wife duo.
Weirdo.
We had done a video, somebody was asking us about something about financial planning, and they were starting their career, and another comment came along where someone was asking about should they go to trade school as compared to a 4-year school. So we're going to address that, which I looked it up and the comment disappeared, so I don't know if they changed their mind, but we're still going to answer it anyway. I will say though, in case we need to say this out loud, not financial experts. We can't give you advice. We're just simply two people in our life, and we're looking back and thinking, if only we knew this, how would we do things different? So with that disclaimer being said.
You make me answer the question.
Well, I'll answer it first, but I'll answer it next, but you answer it first. What would you say if someone who's like, say, about to get into college age, trade school versus 4-year degree?
I think there used to be a stigma against like going to trade school, going to community college, and finding an alternative route to the 4-year go away to school type of thing. Like, it just seems like our society put a lot of pressure and like clout into, where's your kid going to school? That's a big thing. But I think the reality is that universities have capitalized on that, and now tuition is out of the roof expensive. So I think that, I think trade schools are excellent. I mean, especially you think of like technicians, HVAC technicians, diesel mechanics, anything that's a specialized trade and skill. Like, I think that's a great option for education. Any way that you can continue your education versus not continuing your education is going to do you a world of good. So, and I think too, and even sometimes like there's people who don't need to go to college, who are entrepreneurs, like business savvy. I think they can still benefit from, getting additional education, whether it's online or community college or whatever. Like, it never hurts to continue learning. But I think there's better ways to go about it than just, okay, I graduated high school, I need to go to this 4-year school and, spend 5 years trying to get a degree in something I may not even be interested in afterwards, and spend, thousands of dollars investing in that. So I think there's other ways to go about it. And so I would say technical school, trade school is a great idea. I think something in Tennessee, isn't it, that we offer now? The first 2 years in community college is free. It's paid for. It's
it's crazy that you would go and pay money the first 2 years when it's free.
When it's just, you're hitting those general education classes before you're even getting the classes that are focused in your degree area. Like, if you could get that education free and then also work on the side to get some experience, get some life experience working and interacting with people, in a different setting, like, I think that's valuable as well. So that's our advice.
To that I would want to say, anyone who would ask that question is the right person to hear this, because trade school would have been awful for me. My brain doesn't work that way. But for the person asking, that's already telling about the person asking. That's already telling me that that's probably someone who has more of the engineer, mechanical mindset. And I think of a guy that I grew up with, a couple years younger than me, and he struggled all the way through school, just to get decent grades. He was such a struggle for him. And turns out he went to become a mechanic, and now like in Chattanooga, he's like BMW or Mercedes. He's like the main like tech there, and I don't know, I guess he makes $100,000 a year for that. And it's like, that's a kid who struggled in school for grades. So it's just like, and I think what my wife was saying too about, like, it used to be, you have to go to college. That's what happens next. That's what you do. But then if everybody's going, and I think that's what happened to our generation, the ones started born in 1981 and kind of after that, is, well, everybody went to college. So if everybody goes to college, it's less of a big deal once you get into the market because it's
Right.
just oversaturated.
And
people
now
with college
you almost
degrees.
have to get like a graduate degree.
Yeah,
you
my
have
wife
to
has
go
a
get a
master's
master's
degree.
or a PhD.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and it's definitely paid off for you.
it has,
Sure.
yeah.
But
yeah.
it's like, but at the same time, you kind of had to do that to get where you are, right? I mean,
Right. But I mean, what my master's degree is of no relation to my actual job, but it has helped like improve those skills and just continuing your education, just and never stopping. Even though I've gotten my master's, like I continue to seek out courses just that are, you know, workshops or day-long courses that can help just with your day-to-day skills of communication, of interacting with difficult people, how to supervise and manage people. And I mean, it's just, there's something to that of just getting in a new environment and opening your mind to different ways and inviting new skill sets into your repertoire. And I think that has gotten me farther than even my master's degree.
Well, and it's funny because I wasn't even thinking about this until you said it, but for me, like, because I'm in HR, a couple years ago, I took a course on HR training because I was trying to get certified. I ended up failing the test like 2 or 3 times with like 3 points. So I never got the certification for SHRM or SHRM, whatever it's called. But during that, I learned so much about emotional intelligence, and like that's the main theme of this channel at this point, is helping people to realize that they control their own emotions if they choose that. Otherwise, everyone else controls them. And it's like, where did that come from? My HR training. That's and then once you know that, then you apply it and like, wow, like most people don't know this. This is how we should be living our lives. So yeah, any extra training you can get is gonna be a good thing, and you kind of have to do that.
Yeah, and don't forget to put it on your resume.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think sometimes you don't think, oh, well, I just went to this workshop, it wasn't anything. But you're showing employers that, hey, you continue to go out and seek information and try to better yourself. And that's being a manager and a supervisor, that's the type of employee I'm looking for. Not necessarily the most educated or the person with the most experience. It's just somebody who's continuing to learn, who shows initiative and shows that they're going to do what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah, it's funny because the audience here is younger men who largely aren't in college yet, and it's like so often they turn the focus back onto their looks. And I keep saying, look, your whole future ahead of you is based on your skill set and your ability to communicate. Like, that's real life. That's what's actually ahead. And that's why I like talking about these things, because these are important. So to answer the question, should you go to trade school or go to a 4-year and beyond, it's going to depend on what you're already leaning toward, what your emotional, what your skill set and interests already are in. Again, I shouldn't have went to trade school. I would have failed out like the first week. I'm horrible at that stuff. But if you're asking the question, should you go to trade school as compared to 4-year, if you're choosing that, go with what already makes sense for you. And I've said it before, I have an English degree simply because I couldn't do engineering or anything mechanical, and I couldn't do math or science. So communications and English was the only thing left for me. So that's what I did, you know. And so making that decision based off of your own interest and intelligence is what I would say would be the best for any person.
Yeah, and it makes me think of like education and like university systems. They're a business.
Yeah.
They need to make money. So
And
of course society and the universities tell you have to go to a 4-year school and get your college degree, and you know, and for some that is the path, but it's not for everyone. So
it's just propelling people towards debt, and that's the worst way to start your life out in your career. And okay, closing thought. So I know a guy who is a doctor. He's some kind of surgeon actually, and he made it. He made it through school. He's making lots of money, but he told me how much money he's in debt for to go through medical school. And it's like, I know how much money he makes, but I don't envy him because I know how much he owes. It's a lot of money. Compare that to the guy that went to the trade school and is the mechanic in Chattanooga. I'm sure he's debt free, and it's been that way, but it's still making so much more money. So it's like ratio wise, it makes more sense. So yeah, there's definitely some glory to avoiding all of that debt if you can.
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts. We're not experts. We're two random people on the internet, and that is how we feel about it. But you have to do what's right for you. Comments belong